So what we have here are the common mediums that I use in Gyotaku. This is sumi ink. What it is, it's vegetable oil soot. And so it's water soluble, it washes off the fish pretty nicely, and it's vegetables. It's good for you. So now we're ready to paint the fish. Notice that there's just a little bit of ink in that cup, because you don't need much at all. In fact, use as little ink as possible when you're printing fish on paper. So the last thing you want to do before putting ink on there is to dry the fish out. That's what I'm doing right there. Taking all the excess condensation that might occur on the fish, especially if it's cold. And then you just simply paint the fish. Now you might notice that I'm going up and down with the brush, and that's something that you normally do not do with most fish because it will pull their scales out. So make sure and only go with the scales, not against the scales with most fish, or the scales will fall out. With this fish, there's really not many scales to fall out. It's kind of a unique fish. The mahi-mahi don't have scales like the normal fish do. Just paint the whole fish. Close attention to the fins, and you want to paint the fins last or they will dry out, and you do not want that. So again, paint the fins last. So now that we've finished inking the fish, the last thing you want to do is to take some t-shirt material and dab off all the ink that you've put on the fish. You can see that the streak marks right there, that's one of the purposes of dabbing the ink off, is to get rid of all of those streak marks from the brush. You want to take off as much of that ink as you can. That's why it was important to put on very little ink so you can take it off. If you don't do this step, you're just going to end up with one big black splotch looking like a psychology experiment. One thing you want to make sure to do is to dab the fins last because they dry out. Here you go. You simply put the paper right over the fish, hold it down so it does not get a double print, and you simply start rubbing the fish. Got to be careful of that area because there's a hole in the fish in that area and it might leak fluid. You don't want that fluid on your print. Now you just simply go around, make sure you get the fins really nicely. Work your way up there. There's that fin right there. Get the belly line. Be careful of that hole. There's the mouth right there. Oh, look at that. I've got a couple water. See those two dots right there? That's where water accumulated. And so therefore, you know, and that happens the very first time you print any fish. You're going to find places that have water in them, and you might want to redo them. I always print a fish 3 or 4 times to get a perfect print. And let's face it, they're never perfect. And then just make sure you go around and get the fins. They are important. And remember, this is called Gyotaku. It's fish rubbing. Don't press it too hard, because remember, if you press too hard, it makes the fish leak fluids. And there is your impression. Not too bad. Not too bad for a first print on a fish.